Moving along in our development process, in this video we'll cover step 3, modifying the compute cart totals to call the new method persist cart items. Alrighty, so let's kind of move up to our compute cart totals method. So that's what we currently have in place. And what we'll do is the last call here, we'll make a call to this new method. So we'll persist the cart data. And we'll accomplish this by calling persist cart items. Alrighty, so that's pretty much it for the coding. Now I'm getting a little excited. I want to go through and test this out. So let's make sure that our back end is up and running. If not, go ahead and start it now. And then swing over to Visual Studio Code and we'll go ahead and start up our Angular app. Now I'll move into the browser and visit my application. And I'll just add some items to the cart and I'll make sure that things will survive after the refresh. So right now we have 4 items in our cart. Go ahead and test the browser refresh. And yes, success. Look at that. So we still have our 4 items in the cart with our correct price. So it did survive the browser refresh. A sigh of relief. And now one other scenario was testing the login, right? Because once we do the login and this whole Okta OAuth thing, they do a redirect, effectively doing another browser refresh. So let's basically just test the login piece here. So now we're logged into our application and yes, we still have our 4 items in our cart. Okay, good. So I'm happy this browser refresh thing is working as desired. Good job. But one thing to remember is that we're using session storage. So it's only in the browser's memory. So once a browser tab is closed, then the data is no longer available. So if we were to exit out of our browser and start it again, then it'll lose everything and our shopping cart will start at 0. So let's go ahead and test this out. So I'll just do a quick log out here and then I'll quit the web browser. Then I'll start it back up again and I'll go visit my application. And then notice here the data's lost. Everything's back to 0 because we're using session storage. So the data's only in the browser's memory. Once the browser tab goes away or the browser is exited, we lose everything. Now, if you'd like for your cart data to persist on browser restarts, then we can simply change the type of storage we're using. So instead of using session storage, we can make use of local storage. So let's go ahead and do that now. So I'll just set it up here where for the storage, I'm making use of local storage. And this is a reference to the browser's local storage, and we get access to this object for free. And remember, with local storage, the data is persisted and it survives browser restarts. All right, so just swing back into my application. Let's just add some items to our shopping cart. So at the moment we have X number of items, 5 items in our shopping cart right now. And let's go ahead and exit the browser. And then back into our app. And then success. Look, this is great. So it remembered our data. So the data is persisted and it survives the browser restarts. So we can just do some other testing here with local storage. We see that the refresh works out just fine. So it keeps track of all that information. And also just going through the process here of just doing a login here to make sure that this all works for local storage. And then as expected, everything works out as we would like. Good job.